showing Goto and another Japanese man, Haruna Yukawa, threatening to kill them if Japan didn't pay a $200 million ransom. Japan never paid that ransom. Haruna Yukawa was beheaded. And after several more propaganda posts, an emotional roller coaster of a week where there was hope that perhaps Goto might be exchanged for that prisoner in Jordan, Sajid al-Rishawi, all of those hopes ended with this gruesome ISIS video.
All right, folks, joining us now, Governor Bill Richardson, former governor of the state of New Mexico, former U.S. ambassador to the UN, and former U.S. Secretary of Energy. Governor, always good to talk to you, sir.
Thank you, Steve. Nice to be with you.
All right, yeah, you know, this keeps happening. Should there even be any talk of negotiating with these ISIS people? You know, the Jordanian pilot, all Jordan wanted to see was proof that he was alive. Apparently that's not the case, and they would have given up that would-be suicide female bomber. I mean, should we even, and when I say we, I mean the United States specifically, but the world, should they negotiate with these people?
Well, you almost have to. It's a case-by-case basis. You know, the taking of hostages has now become a political weapon, especially now with the beheading of hostages. ISIS is a horrendous group, but at the same time, every country needs to look at their national interests. In the case of Jordan, you know, you've got this Jordanian pilot who's a national hero, who the Jordanian people want him back. And so the King of Jordan's in a very difficult position. He's a member of the U.S.-led coalition that does airstrikes on ISIS, but his people are against the king being and Jordan being in the coalition. So the answer, Steve, is case by case. Yes, I believe prisoner swaps make sense sometimes. I mean, we swapped Bergdahl, Sergeant Bergdahl, for 5 terrorists in Guantanamo terrorists. So,
well, Governor, it's interesting. It's interesting you use that terminology, and I'm with you. I'm with you. You sound. Did you favor that swap? And you call them terrorists when our government went to great lengths, the White House last week twice, to say that the Taliban are not terrorists.
Well, I would call them terrorists, but I do think that that swap was merited with Sergeant Bergdahl. You never leave an American military person, officer, fighter behind. So that is fundamental to me. I don't think you should pay ransom. I think if you pay ransom, the United States wisely doesn't do it. It'd be a free-for-all with Americans. European countries, others do pay ransom. There should be more uniform policies. But, Steve, I think what we do need to do is, one, better intel on these groups like ISIS and their tactics. Secondly, better information to the families of a lot of these prisoners. Sometimes they're kind of left alone. They should be kept up to date about the status of any negotiation. And then lastly, I think it's a case-by-case on the prisoner swaps. If I'm the King of Jordan, I probably would do this swap.
Right.
But, you know, this is an ally. He's a member of the coalition. The good news for the king is that he's very well regarded in the Middle East. You know, the Hashemite kingdom is supposed to be related to the Prophet Muhammad.
Right.
Now, with these ISIS savages, you don't know if that's going to make a difference.
I doubt it very much. I want you to hear what the president said to Fareed Zakaria about terrorism, and tell me if you agree or not. Here we go.
What I do insist on is that we maintain a proper perspective and that we do not provide a victory to these terrorist networks by overinflating their importance and suggesting in some fashion that they are an existential threat to the United States or the world order.
All right, we shouldn't overflate their importance. We shouldn't say that they're an existential threat to the U.S. or the world. Do you agree with any of that?
Yeah, I do agree. I think what the president is saying that you shouldn't hype these people. Yes, they're terrorists. Yes, they're a threat to the United States, even to the mainland. But at the same time, I think you can't give them the importance that they're craving. I mean, these beheadings, for instance, they're to recruit. They're to terrorize. And I believe the United States This is why this is not just a U.S. issue. The international community, Japan, Arab countries, European countries, we should adopt common policies to deal with these hostages, with these terrorists. This is a new weapon of terrorism, hostage-taking, and I don't think that the international community is prepared to handle it so ad hoc the way it's happening.
Yeah. Governor, always great to talk to you. I know you rooted for New England. We got 10 seconds. Why were you a Patriots fan?
Because I'm a Tom Brady fan, I'm a Belichick fan, and my wife's from New England. So
that says it all. Reasons. Good to talk to you, Governor. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you, sir. Daniel Henninger of the Wall Street Journal's next.